Okay, I hope this takes. I did a 20-minute video today, and it was corrupted. It didn't work. So I'm going to do this one really quick. I'm going to fly over what we did in class, and then I'll do another short one for the homework. Anyways, lesson 3.7 is what everybody started today. So it says here a singer is recording a CD. The lengths of the three songs are 3.4 minutes, 2.78 minutes, and 4.19 minutes. About how much recording time will be on the CD. And it says round to the nearest whole number. Okay. So the first one's done for you here. 3.4, that stays the same, 3, because this is not 5 or larger. Remember, this is what determines what happens to this one. So the 7 here is 5 or larger, so this 2 would become a 3. The 1 is less than 5, so the 4 stays the same. 3 and 3 is 6, plus 4 is 10. So there will be about 10 minutes of recording time on the CD. Okay? I've got some Middle Eastern music going in the background here. We were looking up information about camels earlier. So we played that pretty much all day. And the students really enjoyed it. Most of them did, I should say. Okay, so second example here says round to the nearest whole dollar. Okay, then subtract. I almost missed that the first time here. So what's the nearest whole dollar? Well, this 9 would tell us that the 7 needs to become an 8. So this would be $28. This 7 here tells us that this 1 needs to be a 2, and this would be $12. Then you subtract 12 from 28, and you get 16. And so it's about $16. Okay. B here, it says round to the nearest $10. Nearest $10, not the ones place, but the tens place. Okay, so this 7 tells us that it's 5 or larger. This 2 needs to become a 3, so this would be 30. We're counting by tens now. And this, the 1 right here wouldn't change this, so the nearest $10 would be 10. 10 from 30 is 20, and put a dollar sign there. And at the bottom of the page here, it says use appropriate tools. Do you want to overestimate or underestimate when you estimate the total cost of items you want to buy? Or you want to overestimate. That way you'd have enough money. So you would not, overestimate. So you will have enough O-U-G-H, enough, I squeeze that little U in there, enough money for your purchases. Okay. All right, next page. That's 135. Let's look at 136. Now this is where, gosh, I really wish it had recorded because a lot of students were kind of confused with the idea of using benchmarks. Maybe if you watch this video, you'll understand a little bit better. So benchmarks are simply deciding where the decimal falls, and is it closer to, this is what you're looking at. Is it closer to 0, closer to 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, or 1? And that's true of all your benchmarks. That's what you're trying to determine. And it says use benchmarks to estimate 1.8 and 0.43 and 0.18. Well, 0.18 they've done for us here. And these are in increments of 5. Here's 5, 10, 15, 20. This is 25. 25, or 0.25 is the same as 1/4 in fraction form. 0.5 is the same as 1/2 in fraction form. 0.75 is the same as 3/4 in fraction form, and 1, of course, is 1. So the 18, okay, it's pretty close to the 0.25. What's the other one we're looking at? 0.43. Well, 0.43, if we're still counting by 5s, all these little marks represent 5. 5, 10, 15, 20. Here's 25, okay. 30, 35, 40, and it's 0.43. So here's 40, 45, 50. So it's going to be right about here. So I'm going to put a 0.43. And then it asks you, it says think, let's see, 0.18 is between 0 and 0.25. It is closer to, well, the 0.25. You're just looking to see in increments of 25 or quarters where the decimal falls. What is it closest to? Well, so think 0.43 is between what? 0.25. See, here's 0.25. Here's 0.5. 0.43 falls between those two. And 0.5 or 0.50. It is closer to 0.5 or 0.50. And so then we just simply, put 0.25, and then plus 0.5 is 0.75. So 1.8 and 0.43 is about, 0.75. Okay? Boy, I hope this video is taking. I don't want to do this all over again. In fact, if it's not taking, I won't do it all over again. Use benchmarks to estimate for these. Okay, so again, we're just talking about it in increments of 25. 0, 25, 50, 75, 100. Or 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, and 1. So 0.76, where's that going to be? Well, here's 7.5, so 7.6 is going to be right here. Oh, I'm sorry, right here, actually. So 0.76, just beyond the 0.75. Just past it. Not by much. Not by much at all. I could have put it right next to it. I'm going to use some whiteout, get rid of my mistakes so nobody gets confused about that. All right. And then 0.22, where's that going to be? Well, here's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Well, 0.22 is going to be right about there, 0.22. So same thing as before. So think 0.76 is between, well, it's between 0.75 and 1, and it's closer to 0.75. Just think about what they're closest to. Wherever the decimal falls on the number line, is it closest to 0, closest to 25, closest to 50, closest to 75, or closest to 1? Where's it 0.22? It's right here. Okay. What's it closest to? Well, 0.25. Okay, now we're subtracting this one. This is subtraction. You got to pay attention to that sign. So 0.76 is really close to 0.75. Okay, 0.22 is really close to 0.25, and you subtract it and you get 0.5 or 0.50. So it's about 0.5 or 0.50. All right. Next page. Rounding to use the estimate. Okay, so several of you asked me about the very first one. You weren't sure what to do with the rounding. And they didn't make it very clear in the directions, but you're to round to the nearest whole number. Okay, so that's for the rounding. So rounding again, nearest whole number. Okay, and the benchmarks you're going to have to use, a number line and see if it's closest. What is it closest to? Okay, I mean, I guess I could just make my own right here. So here's 0. Call this 0.25. Okay, here's 5 or 0.5. Here's 0.75, and then right about there would be 1. And there'd be increments of 5 in each one, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So I just made up my own there, and that might help me. But anyways, let's do this one here really quick. The first one, number 1. And then I'll end this video and do a homework video. I just want to make sure this one's actually working here. So rounding. So this determines what the next number will be. So is 3 5 or larger? No. So that stays the same. There's a 2. Is 9 5 or larger? Yes. So that 1 becomes a 2. Is 2 5 or larger? No. So the 5 stays the same. So this would end up being 9. Okay. So I'm going to end this video because I want to make sure this is taking its 10 minutes long here, and I don't want to waste another 10 minutes.